Welcome, everyone, to 24/7 Sports. I am Tom Loy alongside the 105 guys. We've got Director of Scouting Andrew Ivins and National Analyst Cooper Patagna. Signing day is right around the corner, so we're looking at 2025 recruiting classes all across the country and bring in fans a look at their soon-to-be signees. We got a few superlatives that we're going to clearly state our take on a lot of these guys. And today we're looking at Wisconsin. The Badgers currently have the number 26 overall recruiting class in 2025, and there are 24 commits set to play for head coach Luke Fickell. Andrew, we will start with you. Early draft pick potential. We're talking about a guy with elite traits now who will one day find himself drafted pretty early in the next couple of years. Who do you got?
Well, Tom, I think we would all have the same answer here. I'm going to leave Mason Posa up to you and Cooper. I'm going to go with Nick Clayton, our number 30 ranked edge rusher out of the state of Florida. He's a three-star prospect right now. He's been in the conversation for a spot inside the top 247, but 6'0", 4'3", 202 pounds, 35-inch arms, 4'6" in the 40-yard dash. He's also got a really good triple jump marker that's important for these edge defenders. We see it year over year in the NFL draft. First got some eyes on Nick Clayton back in January at a Under Armour camp in Orlando. I was like, whoa, who's this dude? Don't know anything about him. But his size, his frame, how he's able to bend. Sounds like Wisconsin wants to use him kind of in an outside off-ball linebacker role in that exotic front. I think this guy has all of the athletic traits to bake into a day two, day one selection. Might take some time for him to find his bearings and get the body right, but you want to bet on the big individuals that move the way he does. Really, really like Nick Clayton. Reminds me a little bit of Eric Gentry, who's at USC.
Believe it or not, Drew, that was my answer as well. I know we're going to talk about Mason Posa, probably next category. I'll go with a different guy. I'll go with Jamari Washington. You know, I talked to some people around Wisconsin this morning, got to talk a little bit about their class. They said, hey, make sure you check out this Jamari Washington kid, cornerback out of Illinois. And I like him a lot, man. 6'2", 180 pounds, smooth mover, reactionary kid. You can kind of see it, all the pieces coming together. And yes, we have kind of like a mid-level three-star grade on him. But as we get more eyeballs on Jamari Washington here over the last couple of weeks before signing day, maybe that changes. But I like this guy a lot. It's also interesting what comes to mind. This is the same staff that had Sauce Gardner at Cincinnati, right? So they have a little bit of a feel of what this kind of looks like, unearthing these type of guys. If you're looking for a tradesy play, maybe outside of Posa, maybe outside of Clayton, I think Jamari Washington kind of fits the bill there.
I'm kind of in agreement with you guys. Mason Posa is tremendous, but the guy I know, and Ivins, you know I love this kid, edge rusher Nicholas Clayton, length, speed, ridiculous motor. The guy impressed just playing linebacker in a 7-on-7 tournament that I was at. Elite traits, fired up about him. I think he could be a big surprise from this class. But day one impact, Cooper, a guy who's going to see the field early and often at Wisconsin. Who do you got, man?
All right, let's talk about Mason Posa, right? Because we've kind of danced around it here in the first couple minutes. But Mason Posa is a guy, multi-time state champion wrestler. I think fits Luke Fickell, Wisconsin, Big Ten to a T. You know, can play off-ball linebacker. I think is going to be more of an edge. He's a big, rocked-up kid, muscular frame, ready to play. And you talk about how savvy and sound he is from a technical standpoint as well. I think that's really going to help him get on the field early at Wisconsin. And these are the guys that they need, in the locker room. Drew, I think if we looked at the entire top 247 and you had to put money on a guy that you knew was going to play year one, I think Mason Posa would be a pretty popular pick, not just for Wisconsin, but in the whole landscape of the top 250 players in the entire nation.
I would co-sign that, Cooper. My guy, Drayden Pavia, interior defensive lineman. Wisconsin just flipped him from Purdue. He's in Cincinnati, Taft High School. He's having a really good senior season, 17 tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks in 9 games. This guy is a stump in the middle, right? He's under 6'2", but he's 310 pounds, really good short area quickness. That's backed up by a 4.38 in the short shuttle. He's another one of these young prospects we always talk about. Won't turn 18 till next July, so he could technically be in the class of 2026. But you look at Wisconsin, their defense here in 2024, they're going to lose 3 of their top nose interior options. They do return Kurt Neal. They got Dylan Johnson waiting for his turn, a former guy on my freaks list. But I think Drayden is a sneaky option to maybe be part of the rotation, and I do think he fits that program. Another guy with a wrestling background for Luke Fickell.
I took the softball here and took linebacker Mason Posa. Violent, athletic, outstanding football player. Wisconsin needs guys like this in the lineup early and often. He's going to be counted on right away. Boomer Bust, an intriguing talent who might outperform or potentially underachieve his current ranking, kind of a mystery. Ivans, who do you got, man?
Tom, I think you're pretty familiar with this guy. Another one from the Hoosier State, Nizia Davis. I hope I'm saying that first name right. He is a stretch tight end, a former basketball-focused athlete. I think he's got a chance. You turn on the game tape, not just the highlights. He needs to improve in a lot of key areas, but the way he moves, the way he's able to elevate and attack the football, it's pretty rare for a guy that's still figuring it out in between the lines. Looks to have a very projectable frame. Talking with some people in Madison, they're excited. And you think about Wisconsin's offense, right? They need to unlock it. They need to find some playmakers. I like the idea of bringing Davis in because he could be a lottery ticket, right? He's going to need some time to develop, but he could hit big. I think he has a chance to emerge as a true catch and run target at the first and second levels.
All right, this hurts me to say, but I'm going to say it because, we've been doing our homework, evaluating senior tape, and Hardy Watts is a guy that I know our group likes a lot, offensive lineman out of Massachusetts. It's been a little disappointing as a senior, and this is a guy that I think we have a lot of high hopes for, lacrosse player as well, playing tackle, going to end up being an interior guy at the next level. A little bit stiff. I think a struggle just in terms of the physicality of the game as well. That's my biggest question mark with him once he gets into Big Ten play. It's a big jump in competition, what he's seeing there in the state of Massachusetts versus what he's going to see in the Big Ten. From a physical athletic standpoint, I like Hardy Watts a lot, but in terms of the physicality, the willingness, down in, down out, that's going to be something to watch there. So Hardy Watts, my pick.
Ivans, I'm joining you in the Hoosier State, but I'm sliding over from Indianapolis to Zionsville. I'm going with receiver Eugene Hilton Jr. Great bloodlines, smooth technician, a lot to like there. I could see him being a big boom if he does hit, like you call it. Diamond in the rough, 3-star prospect who could surprise some people and might even find himself drafted one day. Cooper, who do you got, man?
I hope I don't take Drew's pick here, but this Grant Dean kid, another guy that we've been turned on to this morning from Wisconsin, like him a lot, 3-phase player, 10.83, always around the football, super instinctual kid. Drew, you and I haven't talked about this, but it's kind of like a poor man's Coy Parrish, right? When you think about what this guy could be at the next level. Wisconsin it definitely has a knack for finding these type of players. And you go back, like I said earlier, to Luke Fickell's days at Cincinnati. This is kind of what they made a living on. So to be able to pull these type of guys in state, where it seems like everybody else just kind of glossed over a kid like this, I'm excited to see what he's going to look like in this program a couple years from now. And who knows, he can maybe potentially make an early impact in Madison as well.
Yeah, I had Grant Dean written down here, but I have two footprint guys, local prospects where I think there's a ton of upside, multi-sport athletes. You mentioned the 100-meter dash time for Grant Dean. How about this, 4.885 in the 400? I think that's a little more impressive. I also love you going to social media. He's got a photo of him in a Wisconsin jersey when he's like 3 years old. The other one I want to mention, right, Luke Emmerich. This is a kid that tore his ACL twice. His high school career has been derailed, but he is finally playing here as a senior. 63 tackles, 2 interceptions on defense. He's also got a punt return for a touchdown, doing it in all 3 phases. A lot of people at Wisconsin like Luke Emmerich. I think he's someone where this is how you win in the Big Ten, right? You get these individuals that are hard-nosed football players that have overcome some adversity, that are just really, really good athletes. You mentioned the Coy Parrish comparison. How about like a Cooper DeJean at Iowa? I think Wisconsin's got 2 good ones in Luke Emmerich and Grant Dean here. Certainly ones to track.
I love some of these early comps. And Cooper, you stole my guy early in this one, but cornerback Jamari Washington, absolutely love that kid. Completely out of my lane. I would throw him in the top 247. But I love the coverage skills, the polish, the mental approach to his position. I think he's going to see himself drafted one day. But that wraps it up. As I said before, we are going to hit a bunch of schools leading up to December's early signing period. But for Andrew Ivans and Cooper Patagna, I'm Tom Loy. As always, stay locked to 247sports.com.